Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recap of Explosive Pro Wrestling Collision Course 2013. I'm the voice of EPW, Dean Olsen. Thank you for joining me. We had a massive show here this evening at Body Slam Central, and it started off with a tag team matchup between the Dropkicks, of course that's Leo Pratt and Scotty Ryan, up against McMassive. That's the Shoot Fighter, Gavin McGavin, and the Moving Man Mad Mike Massive. When this one was underway, early goings, it was all McMassive. Then we saw a whole heap of fantastic, innovative moves by the Dropkicks. But in the end, McMassive hit the Dropkicks with a maneuver known as the McMassacre and got the win. Next we saw the Iron Man Davis Storm make his way to the ring and address this situation going on about the warship and who he's dealing with, this EPW original that is on his side. And that led to an interesting situation when Hayden Zenith, Adam Banks and Husey got involved.
When you look back at the last 6 months, we've been attacked from behind. I got put through that table. Right? You came in here in the center of this ring and you told me to step up and be a man. And I took the biggest step I could. I took on Sebastian Sander when no one else would. I went through hell and I was on that top rope and you cost me everything! Answer the question!
We also saw at Collision Course the Explosive Pro Wrestling Hardcore Championship. Finally, the Don, Michael Morleone, put his title on the line that he won over a year ago up against none other than gorgeous Gary Schmidt. From the get-go, it was crazy action all around the outside of the ring. We saw an extension cord, a kendo stick, as well as a trash can, and a trash can lid. And a pedestal fan get involved in this one. Gorgeous Gary was on the way to being the new EPW Hardcore Champion, and then Lukey Boland got involved and stopped the count. After a huge battle, Gorgeous Gary throwing everything he had into this matchup, the Don managed to stop Gorgeous Gary with the Cobra Clutch and got the victory, retaining his EPW Hardcore title. Next up, it was time for a non-title matchup where Sebastian Sander was going one-on-one with one of the nicest guys you could ever meet, Dan Moore. That's right, clean-shaven, well-behaved Dan Moore. And Dan Moore wasted no time. He did 3 dives to the outside on Sebastian Sander. Dan Moore was wisely working over the shoulder of Sebastian Sander, but the EPW champion is an absolute monster who nobody can stop. As nice as Dan Moore is, make no mistake about it, he's got one hell of a mean streak in him. And in the end, it was the military press to Spinebuster, claiming another victim. We then had Hayden Zenith, Adam Banks and Husey come back into the ring and they called out the warship. They demanded him tell us who it is he's been working with, who this EPW original is that he's been working with. And well, we all... Richter and the last person any of us expected, the Iron Man Davis Storm. He's turned his back on Explosive Pro Wrestling. He's working with the warship. They are no longer anonymous. And who knows what we're going to see next. We then saw a matchup with huge ramifications. It was the 5th and final matchup for Chris Weiss to get his shot at the EPW Championship. And of course, as we've known all along, if he is not victorious, he will be fired from Explosive Pro Wrestling for good. William Darcy was at ringside. It was Elliot Sexton versus Chris Weiss. And from the get-go, Chris Weiss was wasting no time. managed to break Elliot Sexton's nose, and blood was flowing everywhere. We then saw the EPW Tag Team Champions Jay Taylor and Kyle Stereo get involved in the matchup while the referee was distracted by William Darcy. As if that wasn't enough, while the referee was still distracted, the EPW Champion Sebastian Sander came out and just pummeled Chris Weiss with a steel chair. And all this led to Elliot Sexton getting the pinfall victory and ending the career of Chris Weiss. It's a sad day, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen Chris Weiss in Explosive Pro Wrestling for the final time. We then had a semi-final matchup for the 2013 EPW Invitational Tournament, and it was Dorian up against Troy. Before the match got underway, Troy, who is the new protege of Jamie Dura, read a letter to Dorian on behalf of Jamie Dura, which just said the most discouraging things to Dorian.
I agree.
And he beat the shit out of him. He nailed it with a humongous chokeslam, got the 1-2-3 victory, and now will go on further in the Invitational Tournament. Then, ladies and gentlemen, it was time for your EPW Collision Course 2013 main event. The EPW Tag Team titles were on the line. It was your champions, Jay Taylor and Kyle Stereo, up against Marcus Pitt and Alex Kingston. While Kingston and Pitt are both former tag team champions themselves, they've never held the tag team titles together, and this was their chance. Alex Kingston was firing on all cylinders in the early going. But then again, the shady tactics of the tag team champions came into play as they isolated Alex Kingston and worked a spectacular gameplay. After taking a massive beating from both the tag team champions, finally Alex Kingston tagged in Marcus Pitt, who was raring to go. We saw suplexes, and German suplexes, and German suplexes, and German suplexes. And then something that was absolutely mind-blowing. We saw Marcus Pitt German suplex both of the tag team champions. Just when it was almost over, Marcus Pitt had hit Jay Taylor with the F5. Alex Kingston went to the top rope to hit the frog splash. The Don Michael Morleone pushed Alex Kingston off the top rope and therefore disqualifying the tag team champions. So while Marcus Pitt and Alex Kingston were the winners of the matchup, the titles remain with Jay Taylor and Kyle Stereo. A massive brawl broke out, and then before we knew it, the entire locker room had hit the ring. It was chaos. And then William Darcy came out and said this.
Alright, word to glory. We'll do it, alright? Riot Den match, your team versus my team. But before you get too excited, bring it on. First stipulation. If my team loses, the shares go back to where they were. Which does mean that I'm out of EPW. But if my team wins, I get you.
We've only ever had one Riot Den matchup in the history of Explosive Pro Wrestling. It was huge. It was insane, the likes of which we've never seen before. If you want to see what a Riot Den match is like, just click here. It's going to be something you won't believe and you don't want to miss it. October the 5th at Body Slam Central, Explosive Pro Wrestling Road to Glory. I want to see you there.